All right, let's move on, and we're going to talk about Star Wars because there's a few different things going on with Star Wars. Um, Obviously, there's Ahsoka news. There's some other stuff with Hayden Christensen. There's this Taika Waititi stuff. There's a lot of this. We don't get multiple Star Wars stories as often as we used to. So, how about this? This is Ahsoka, Outlaws, and other Star Wars talk. This is by Garth Franklin. A couple of Star Wars updates have emerged in the past day or so, starting with the speculation that Hayden Christensen's role as Anakin Skywalker in the second season of Ahsoka will be more extensive than his brief appearance in the first. Hey, wait a minute. I remember there was a guy that said that, I think it was like 3 or 4 months ago, who said he's going to have a much bigger role and said he was going to be in it. What was that guy's name? Oh, yeah, Kristian Harloff. I remember that guy. Yeah. I remember that. It was like months ago. I remember. The new run is currently in production, and Comic Book Movie reports this month Christensen has reportedly had to pull out at least 2 convention appearances, SpaceCon San Antonio and Comic-Con Manchester, because of filming commitments to Ahsoka, which will include nighttime film shoots, according to con organizers. Nexus Point News is reporting that 2 Star Wars films are keeping the trend alive of wacky working titles and production names to keep things under wrap while shooting. Taika Waititi's still in development Star Wars film is reportedly going by the working title of Cosmic Doom and will be made under the production name of Ghost Truck 6. Waititi will be directing from a screenplay by Tony McNamara. Curious to see what Tony McNamara has written. I have thoughts on that one. Let's see. Continuing on past that. Finally, no. The outlet also indicates that Sean Levy is much sooner to shoot Star Wars Starfighter film, which is already set for a May 28, 2027 release, aims to begin shooting this September in London. Its working title is Kyber Mist, with its production name Blue Mist Productions. Finally, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot has put the blame on their Star Wars Outlaws game failing to meet sales expectations, not on the quality or marketing of the game, but on the Star Wars brand itself. It's an older story. It was like last week, but whatever. Games Radar reports that the company chief told investors the game was released at a time when the brand that it belongs to was in a bit of choppy waters. He did add that the game had bugs at launch, which were fixed early weeks of release. He adds that improvements on the games are not finished. Okay. Lots of stuff there. Chris, where do you want to start with first?
Ooh, well, we can start with Taika Waititi, because that's like I don't believe that. I don't think that movie's ever gonna happen. So we can just move on from that real quick.
I agree with you, and I've been saying that, but they keep mentioning it, and they keep talking about how like they want to do it, and his name keeps popping up, and Kathleen Kennedy always brings him up, and it's like they're not trying. Like the Rian Johnson one, it pretty much isn't going to happen. Rian Johnson even said it himself, but like Rian Johnson's one, they never really brought it up unless it was asked. They volunteer the Taika one all the time, and I don't. That's why I asked if he was writing it. If he was writing it, I'd be like, they really should not go forward with this movie, because it's just going to be, because when he writes stuff, it's Goofball City, USA. Like look at the last movie that he did with Love and Thunder. However,
Love and Thunder.
Yeah, Ragnarok was not written by him, and he directed the hell out of it. So the writer here, Tony McNamara, he has done Poor Things, which I loved. The Great TV series,
so good.
Cruella, The Favorite. I mean, The Favorite, Poor Things, and The Great is a very interesting person to be writing a Star Wars film.
Yeah,
that intrigues me.
It is very intriguing.
Yes.
But then my brain immediately goes to Yorgos, right? Of like, is Yorgos going to direct a Star Wars movie? Are we going to see Emma Stone having crazy banana sex in space? What is this going to be?
Right.
Like, it does seem so out of left field for a Star Wars film.
I know.
But that's exciting.
It is. It's to me makes me. I've been very much saying the same thing. I don't know everything's going to happen. Taika Waititi. Him not writing it, because I think this is new news that he's, because I remember he was writing, he hasn't turned in a script, he hasn't done this, he hasn't done that, we haven't read his script yet. Maybe that stopped. Maybe he's like, I don't want to write this thing, I just want to direct it. And he's a fantastic director. He's fantastic. Yeah. And I don't mind Star Wars humor in it. That's fine. it's a matter. I will also say I think the stuff that he directed for Mandalorian was phenomenal. He didn't write those. He didn't write them. He added his flair to it. There clearly was a lot of Taika flair in it, but he didn't write them. So if this is this has changed my tune a little bit with McNamara because I like his writing. I like the things that he's written. So let's see.
I think the film will happen. I just don't know if Taika's going to stay attached to it.
He's been attached to it for quite a while at this point.
It feels.
What's more likely to happen? What's more likely to happen? Taika doing this movie or Andy Muschietti actually doing Brave and the Bold?
Oh, Taika doing this
is more likely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Completely agree. But yeah, The Favorite was a really great movie. Yeah, that's like if he's doing so imagine like the time period of the elite inside of the Star Wars. It's kind of similar to what they did in Andor, but if they go more into like the society of it all and a little bit more, I don't know. I'm all about. I want to be proven wrong so badly where it's like I look at the camera and I'm like, hey, Taika just put out one of the best Star Wars movies in a bit. I was like, get him out of there. I don't think that his heart's in it. I don't want to see it. And then I'm going to look at this. That's the movie that I'm so glad that they made and they put some new stuff behind it. But I also think one of the things I wouldn't be surprised if because of Andor season 2, more and more people that are going into Lucasfilm are probably going into like, well, we want to get that kind of reception.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Let's not just make it the cartoon version of Star Wars. Let's go do real stuff.
Yeah, well, and that's always been the thing with Star Wars is you could explore all the genres you want to. It's a huge galaxy. We don't have to stay with this one family or this one little unit and do the same storytelling. We have a whole world to explore. And that's what so many of the video games have been so successful in doing is, hey, but what if you went over here? Hey, what if this actually happened? And I think that's opened up the opportunity for things like Andor or for other movies where you get to explore something that's not just a Skywalker saga.
Sure. And speaking of the video games, that thing from Ubisoft that came out.
Did you play it?
No, I didn't. I wasn't interested in the story. I felt like it was the same story I've seen a billion different times over and over and over again. And I just it didn't seem intriguing to me. So I pushed back on, well, I think part of it is sure, the damage to the brand didn't get people as excited. But we just talked about Andor. People watched Andor to see how it was. If you make good stuff and a good story, people want to play. They're going to play the game because the other thing is the other one with what's his face, Cameron Monaghan. What's the Jedi Survivor? And those did good. Those did good.
Great.
Yeah, and those did well. So I don't take that the only reason it did because it was in a time when Star Wars wasn't doing well. It's like, I don't know. I don't know about that. I think it's more so that it just the story wasn't something that people you just seen it a billion different times.
I think it's a pretty fun game. I do think to the credit of Ubisoft, and I know most people don't enjoy this game. I'm going to be very clear.
Okay.
Logan plays it, so mostly he can play Sabacc on it because we have the card game, and I just don't enjoy playing it. So he likes doing it on there, and it is cool to kind of play the various shady factions and see like how can I manipulate the Hutts? How can I manipulate the Crimson Dawn? Where am I playing my cards without getting caught myself? And your little animal companion, I think its name is Nyx, is super cute. But it was so glitchy. It was so glitchy at the beginning. And that's why I don't understand when people get stuff on drop day because it's usually after a few weeks some of the bugs get sorted out. This is a game where they're still sorting out the bugs. So it is kind of bold to blame it on the IP and not your game's shoddy craftsmanship. But I do think there's a potential for that though. Like kind of some of the best parts of Solo, that's a lot of what Outlaw is.
Okay.
So I think there's cool stuff you could pull.
Right. But what do you think about the comments that it was because it was a damaged brand is the reason why it didn't do well?
Oh, no, I think that's so ridiculous. I think it's it's like going back to Jurassic Park. I'm going to play a Star Wars game. I'm going to watch a Star Wars show. I'm going to watch a Star Wars movie because it's Star Wars. And then I can, crawl up my own ass about whether or not is it my Star Wars? Did I feel
Right.
good about it?
Right.
But I'm
But give
going to
me a
go
good
to it
story.
each time.
Yeah. Right. Right. But
Yeah.
you gotta give me a good story. You gotta give me
Mhm.
characters I care about, and you gotta give me a non-glitchy game if you're gonna launch it.
Exactly. Yeah. So
And
sure,
then
it could be a little tainted, but like get
yeah,
your game together.
totally. And last thing inside of the Star Wars stuff was the Hayden stuff. And as I said, as I'm joking and not joking at the same time, I had heard a long time ago that he had a bigger role, and I talked about it on this show. It makes sense. You bring him back. You get he that was one of the highlights of that show last time. And the way that they ended it was like, okay, he's going to be around, and you get a little bit more on Anakin and what has happened to him since he's had Force Ghost and things that he's going to be doing. And I think it's smart to play off the kind of how beloved he is now. Hayden Christensen is where he's had a complete 180 from the fans and back in the prequels where it was the exact opposite. And now he's embracing that. So yeah, as I said, this is something I've known for quite a bit, and it makes sense that they're pushing it towards him. Do you think this is smart?
Oh, I think it's so smart. He's so beloved by the fandom, and rightly so. He got built such a bad hand.
Yeah.
He's a great actor, and he was seen as a great actor before these movies came out.
Glass House.
And yeah, Glass House, he's incredible in. This is why that Tom Hanks quote of being an actor means you have to show up on time and show up with an opinion, right? That's one of the problems with those prequels is George Lucas famously does not direct actors. He just does not give them anything. Here's your script that I wrote, which questionable at best.
Right.
And then he gives them nothing. So you've got like Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor who have an idea of what they want to do and bring that to the party. But if you're a young actor, I mean, even Natalie Portman in those prequels, there's often times where it's like, do you know what's going on? Do you know what's happening? And it's because they're just not getting any of the feedback that they're used to.
Yeah, she wasn't getting roles because people thought she was a bad actress after that.
And both of them are great.
Real good. What was it? I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was from Windy City Heat. I think it was, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. If you haven't seen Windy City Heat, it's a crazy movie. But if you recognize it, then it's not from Windy City Heat. But it's end act. I think that's what Bobcat Goldthwait is saying, to end act, and that's essentially what George Lucas would do. Okay, end act.
Yeah.
And poor Hayden Christensen. But he's back.
It's the worst. It's the worst when you get that. I have that in voiceover sometimes where they go. Like, what the hell am I supposed to do with that?
What the hell does that mean? But but him coming back makes sense for the story wise, makes sense where they left it off. I'm really hoping they kind of dive a little deeper. I hope the episodes are longer. I really do. And for the reason, because it just I'm watching all these, whether it's the Marvel stuff or whatever it might be, in 45 to 50-minute episodes, unless they're dialogue heavy, which a lot of these 35-minute episodes are not, you don't have a lot of time to develop characters. Every time I said that, well, the Bear doesn't need to be. Bear's only 30 minutes. Bear is dialogue heavy. Bear is very dialogue heavy. Agatha was dialogue heavy for a lot of it. So you got a chance to build. If it's dialogue heavy and you're building the characters, the problem, and this is a Filoni problem, and I've said this many times over, he's got to do the monster of the week. And he's got to go, oh, wait, they want to see a big old monster and somebody flying and shooting lasers at it. Cut out all that dialogue and just have the monster of the week. And it's like, don't do that. Develop the actual story, develop the characters. You want to put the monster of the week in there, fine, but give me another 15 minutes of dialogue and add to it. And I hope that's what he's learned so far.
I hope so too. Well, and Cad Bane is such a great example of, hey, here's a character you've created who is so interesting and is a great slow burn character that I think we did rush too much in live action. And when you take his story and you really delve into who this person is, it makes it so much more interesting. When you have the big bads or people who have been morally flawed in the past and really explore how they got there, that's where all the good and interesting stuff happens, not just in the pew-pews. So I hope that he does more of that too.
Fingers crossed. I just think he's stuck in his ways, but another guy, hope I'm totally wrong about. I hope that I say season 2 and I'm going to look at that. Improved on all the stuff that I had that people had issues with in general. And look what he's doing now. Maybe he's improved. Maybe there's other people around him who are actually showing, hey, you can actually do stuff and it's not as easy to just convert. You can get away with things in animation that you can't get away with in live action. You just can't. It's a trick of the eye thing. But what do you guys make of the Star Wars news? All of this stuff. Put your thoughts in there. Let us know.
All right. I know you all heard of Viagra or Cialis, maybe even tried them. If you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, I got it. Rougiette Ready. If the usual pill isn't doing the trick, Rougiette Ready, it could be the answer. It's a 3-in-1 formula. It dissolves under your tongue, absorbs fast. You'll be ready in just 15 minutes on average, not hours, and effects can last up to 36 hours. That means that you're going to stay confident, you're going to stay present, and in control when the moment is right. Getting started is super simple. Rougiette connects you with a board-certified doctor, 100% online, and if prescribed, your treatment ships directly to your door. Connect with a provider at rougiette.com/Christian to see if a Rougiette-ready prescription is right for you. You can get the code Christian to get 15% off today. Rougiette.com/Christian. Use that promo code Christian to get 15% off today. Head on over to rougiette.com/Christian. Use that code Christian to get 15% off today. Use the code to support the show, and so Rougiette knows that we sent you. Individual results may vary with prescription treatment. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. Please visit the Rougiette website for full safety information.